with us today, our returning friend, Curt Lawson. He's the Deputy Chief over at the West Bloomfield Police Department. Always great to have you with us, Curt. How are you?
I'm great, Ronnie. How are you?
Good. I hope you had a happy and healthy holiday season and Happy New Year to you as well.
Well, thankfully it was healthy. So the whole family's still healthy and we're still taking those protocols, wearing our masks when we go out. So far, so good.
With that, I will say it's been a while since we've been able to actually speak with you, but if we can kind of just go back a couple weeks, January 6th, and knowing that you have a long history in law enforcement, but when you saw the events unfold at the nation's capital, what were your thoughts?
Well, I think like most people, it was a little bit of a shock. What am I seeing? Is this really happening? How can this be happening? From a law enforcement standpoint, I'm looking at it as that there's failures on several points. Obviously, where was the data analysis? How did you not know that this was a potentially could have occurred? Like the signs were out there. It was being reported in the media. It was all over social media that there was going to be a demonstration. Some people are openly talking about going into the Capitol. So the information was there. And then why wasn't law enforcement prepared? We always look at major events that we prepare for as it's like an iceberg. What the public sees is just the tip, but what's below that is all the planning. We look at all the what ifs to make sure that we have enough individuals there, that we have security fencing, that we're doing surveillance, that we have camera systems set up. And it doesn't look like any of that was done. And certainly there was no coordination of resources. In case something were to happen where they were overwhelmed with personnel, they should have had a backup plan so they could have brought more individuals in to help them quickly. And that wasn't done either. So there was a failure at multiple points. And I certainly would say, and I've said this before, it always goes back to leadership, and they have to own it and they have to learn from it.
And that's part of it, right? You step up, and some of the lawmakers or some of the individuals that were leading the law enforcement agencies have done just that, and they've resigned their positions. But Curt, I'm with you. I was sitting back going, how is this even happening? But I also know that when you're in the middle of a situation like that, as a lot of people know, I was caught up in the riots in downtown Cleveland. And part of that was they said, well, we've always had peaceful protest in the past. Well, once it turns sideways, there's that delay in action of being able to call people, get them dressed and get them to a scene, and then get them organized to respond. And by that time, minutes count. And I think that's exactly one of those situations that we witnessed at the nation's capital.
Well, unfortunately, circumstances like this, it is a learning experience. And I know all the law enforcement leaders that I talk to, they're all looking at this. What went wrong? What could have gone better? And in the future, we have potential protests. Let's make sure that this does not happen again.
Yeah, and that is one of the good things that comes out of these situations is they are used as teaching mechanisms to make sure they don't happen again. And so that is kind of a silver lining that comes out of that. But we're very lucky to kind of live in the community in which we live, because we have not experienced situations like that. We did have a few of the protests throughout the summer months, but they've all been very peaceful and respectful as well.
Right. And so for even our protests, we had a Black Lives Matter protest that was at Orchard Maple, walked down to our police department. And from all the information that we had, it was going to be a very peaceful demonstration of about 1,000 people. But we certainly had significant layers of security and plans in place in case something went wrong, in case there was a few agitators. How are we going to deal with that? So you just got to plan, and plan some more.
Plan for the worst, hope for the best. And it's like you said, the general public never understands the level of what goes in behind the scenes to try to prepare and protect during these situations as well. So with that and with your team and also the resources it takes as well, there is a debt of gratitude. I think so many people are starting to understand the vital importance of law enforcement and the difference that people such as yourself make within our community. And with that, though, if we can kind of shift the conversation a little bit,
Sure.
obviously 2021, it's all about the vaccination. I know members of the law enforcement community are now qualified to be able to start getting vaccinated. Have members of the team over there at the West Bloomfield Police Department been able to get the vaccination yet?
Well, some have not. So as you know, in Michigan, we have 10 million residents here and about 550,000 have got the vaccine. It's been difficult to get in Oakland County. There's been about 15,000 doses available and 8,000 of those have been administered. So a very low number. We did not hear anything about a vaccine that was available to us until last week. And we went up to Hurley Hospital in Flint and they provided a substantial number of our officers the first round of vaccine shots. And I just got off the phone literally 5 minutes before I got on with you with Homeland Security here in Oakland County. And they're offering up some vaccines for up to 40 of our officers tomorrow. So we're standing by the phone waiting for the vaccines to arrive. And then as soon as we can get our people vaccinated, we're going to do so.
It really is kind of crazy behind the scenes. It seems like it's kind of being patched together as to who's getting it, when you're getting it, and how it's going. But at the end of the day, you jump at the opportunity because you don't know when that opportunity is coming again. Have you been able to get vaccinated yet?
So I did go to Hurley, myself and Lieutenant Tilley, who I think you've met before on your great program. We went up together. It was literally, we were there probably 20 minutes. It was a very short line, very efficient. The needle wasn't too big, which I was really relieved about. Not a lot of pain as far as the shot itself. I did have some tenderness and so I was a little bit tired after the shot, but all in all, no major side effects whatsoever.
So you've only had the one shot, right? The first shot?
Correct. The second one I have is the second week of February.
I will say when I watch the video of people getting the shot, that needle looks like it's like that big. And I am such a baby when it comes to getting shots. And most of the people that we talk to that have been vaccinated, they seem to be having more issues on the second shot, more so than the first one. That's why I'm happy to be at the back of the line for this, because hopefully by that time, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is going to be approved, and that's just one shot, because that I might be able to sit through. But Curt, can you talk about the importance about having the vaccine? Because you guys are in contact with so many people, and you can't say no to people. You have to be there to respond.
So it is important. I think it's in the overall process here of us getting through COVID-19. Vaccination is a big part of that. It goes along with the social distancing and the masks. Now, when COVID-19 reared its ugly head, we were very fortunate. A lot of our officers did not get sick. But I can tell you in the last month or so, we've had a lot of our officers getting sick. We've had a couple officers that actually were, or at least one officer that was actually hospitalized. So this is a serious thing, and we're definitely encouraging our officers to get that vaccine. And we're doing everything we can to get them in line and to make sure that happens. So hats off to the West Bloomfield Fire Department. They are actually working with the county to have a vaccination point at the West Bloomfield High School and at Fire 1, possibly as early as next week. Now you have to sign up through the county, and I believe there's about 16,000 people on that waiting list. But we're trying to get more sites for people to go to get that vaccine. And I know the new administration was talking about 100 million vaccinations in the next 100 days. So, but what's really important about making that happen is making sure that the vaccines, one, is available, and two, that we have enough sites to get people vaccinated.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of logistical issues rolling this out. We've already seen that, but hopefully
Yes.
as more and more vaccines come available, people are going to be able to find it as well. Hey, Curt, just another minute or two, because I know that you're busy. But before we let you go, I'm seeing that you are now the vice chair for the West Bloomfield Youth Assistance. What exactly is that program?
So West Bloomfield Youth Assistance has been around for decades, and that program is all about the kids. So it's based mostly within the high schools, and what they do is when kids get themselves in trouble, which kids can do, and they're minor infractions, whether it's alcohol, smoking, marijuana use, instead of putting them into the criminal justice system, a youth assistant steps up. We provide counseling, we monitor them, make sure that they get whatever they need to get their life back on track. And that's what West Bloomfield Youth Assistance is all about. And there are youth assistants all over Oakland County. And the statistics show us that they're very successful. And we're very fortunate here in West Bloomfield that it's very well funded by the township, by the school district, as well as privately. So it's a great group to be a part of. And I'm proud to be on their board and a volunteer at the events that they do.
That is such a great program because for some of these kids, it could sideline their entire futures. Where when we were kids back in the day, you didn't have a cell phone that could take a picture or take a video. If you were caught underage drinking, not that I ever was, the alcohol was taken away. Now some of these kids are losing scholarships, and it can sideline their futures over some of these things. So it really is a great program, and it benefits the kids, but it also benefits the community as well. So thank you to you and the other volunteers for being a part of this program.
Interesting, Ronnie, is one of the things that COVID-19 has done, another negative, is that we used to hold the food truck rally at the Orchard Mall. And that was for West Bloomfield Youth Assistance. And we were getting thousands and thousands of people to attend this event. And obviously in 2020, we couldn't have it. And we might not be able to have it in 2021, but we're hoping, fingers crossed, 2022.
Fingers crossed. I think we're all ready to get back to some type of normalcy going at least into the summer, right? Hey, quickly before I let you go, though, I have to tell you, so we were talking a little bit about the Bernie meme because the Troy Police Department has a great one. They actually made national news, the Troy Police Department, when they did a search for a police cat instead of a police dog, and Pulsifer Donut is become widely popular across the entire United States. And they had a great meme of Bernie Sanders, which has gone viral right now, all the memes with him, and he's holding Pulsifer Donut. But you were just informing me, I'm pulling up yours now. That is a great one as well. So anyone, I don't know if I can actually show that. If you can go on to the West Bloomfield Police Department's Facebook page, you'll see their creativity with some of this too. But Curt, I will say the one thing that's good about the social media is it's serious, but it's also a good way for members of your team to share with the community about the good work that all the people that are a part of the police department are doing. But on top of that, you can have a little fun because you're people at the end of the day as well.
Exactly right. So when we began social media, it was about a year conversation with the chief to kind of get him on board with this. But once we started it and once he began to understand the power of this tool, and really it's a lot about not only about information sharing, but it's also about marketing. And we kind of go head to head with Troy PD quite a bit. We're kind of the two powerhouses on social media. So, they did a great job, absolutely great job with Pulsifer, their cat, who I quite frankly, I wanted to kidnap because he drives me crazy. But they do an absolutely amazing job. And we're doing our best to compete. And we try to outdo them when we can. And we definitely wanted to get Bernie out there as well, which I'm sure when the chief checks that out in the next hour or two, he's going to be calling me. But it's fun to put stuff out there, and it gives people a laugh, and it kind of humanizes the badge a bit.
But I will say, maybe we should catnap Pulsifer Donut. Not that we would ever actually do that. But I will say, the good thing about this, though, it really is, it's not about making people laugh, but it's that connection and putting a human being behind the badge and connecting the public. And that is what is so important and so needed right now as well. Wouldn't you agree?
100% agree. And I think we've been pretty successful at it. And it's because of the great team that we have that operates our social media platform. So hats off to them. So
I'm trying to think of what animal you guys should adopt to try to beat the cat. We had a
lot of discussion everything from I'd get a goat to an ostrich. I want to outdo Troy, so we got to find something good.
Get one of those turkeys off of Orchard Lake Road and just adopt that.
No, I was also thinking you could have a lot of fun. One time, the Michigan Humane Society, I did a story with them because they had a rescued pig. It was a potbelly pig, but they're dressing little piggies up so cute right now. Come on, cops and pigs, you
That would
would go
definitely go
viral.
viral. That I would definitely be on CNN and Fox News if we did that. But I'm not sure I'm going to convince the chief of that right now.
Okay, when you become the next chief, we're going to make it happen.
We'll talk.
I could adopt it. I'll at least buy it outfits. How's that?
Sounds great.
Needs a little police outfit. With that, Curt Lawson with us. He's the deputy chief over at the West Bloomfield Police Department. Curt, anything you want to add before we let you go?
Well, just a reminder to our residents to please lock your cars. We've seen quite a few, we call them LFAs or larceny from vehicles. We have kids out in the neighborhoods at night and they're looking for unlocked cars and they'll go in, they'll take your wallet, any other valuables. So please lock your cars. Besides that, things have been going pretty good, knock on wood, here in West Bloomfield. And thanks for having me on today. I appreciate it.